Thank you for joining us on India Roundup. I'm Chandni Krishnan bringing you the national headlines this week. India and China clash over Ladakh. Rising tensions at the line of actual control in Galwan Valley led to the death of 20 Indian soldiers, according to Indian officials. Due to the rough terrain, rivers, lakes, and snowcaps, the line of actual control is poorly demarcated. Troops from both sides have often bumped into each other, but no bullets have been fired by either side in 40 years, according to officials. Regardless of the provocation behind it, this incident poses fresh challenges in foreign policy and national security for Prime Minister Modi's government. China agreed to disengage. Indian army sources have stated that India and China will disengage on the disputed eastern Ladakh boundary in a phased manner. According to sources, high-level talks between India and China were held in a cordial environment and all contentious areas in eastern Ladakh were discussed. However, more ground-level talks will be needed. Import curbs on Chinese goods. The Indian government is considering economic measures to limit China's access to India's markets. The move has been in the works as part of the drive towards self-reliance, but gained momentum after recent border tensions. India is also expected to increase the level of scrutiny on all investments coming from China. This is likely to impact companies like Paytm and Ola when they go for follow-up funding. India proposes bilateral air bubbles. India has proposed bilateral air travel bubbles with countries like the United States, Germany, and France. The proposed bubbles will connect states that have the pandemic under control and who trust each other's testing and case numbers. This means that quarantining or testing of passengers can be discarded among the countries in the bubble, making international air travel slightly easier at this time. The move does come with the risk of introducing new cases, as seen by New Zealand, which had relaxed travel restrictions but had to quickly tighten border restrictions again due to the increase in new COVID-19 cases. Women's self-help groups, heroes in India's fight against COVID. In a feature story in the World Bank website, the stars are the women self-help groups of India. The story dated April 11, 2020 reports that women self-help groups in India have risen to the extraordinary challenge of the pandemic. It goes on to say that they are meeting shortfalls in masks and protective equipment, running community kitchens, bringing awareness, and even providing banking solutions to remote communities. COVID numbers surge. India's COVID-19 case count surpasses 4 lakh, with the country recording an additional 1 lakh cases in 8 days. These numbers are expected to peak in July-August. As Unlock 1 continues, hotspots like Delhi are witnessing patients being denied treatment due to a shortage of beds and testing kits. Testing is inadequate, and with some states doing very few tests, the numbers don't tell the whole story.
To celebrate life, come to Gujarat.
Short-term insurance policies for COVID-19. The Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India has advised health and general insurers to offer policies of 3 months to 11 months to cover the costs of treatment of the disease. The guidelines mention that policies are permitted to be offered both as individual or group products, and that a policy term less than 3 months is not permitted. Ex-advisor to Trump writes the book on life in the White House. John Bolton, who was the US President Donald Trump's national security advisor, has authored a book titled The Room Where It Happened, a White House Memoir. The book, published by Simon and Schuster India, contains a no-holds-barred account of President Trump. In the book, Bolton claims that Trump made several important decisions as president while driven purely by re-election calculations. Coming from a man who has in the past worked for Reagan and Bush, the book promises to be an interesting read. And that is all from me for this week. Thank you for watching. Stay well and see you next time.